In 2019, researchers at the University of Bath gave a simple task to autistic and non-autistic adults. Sit in a room where a tone might or might not play at random intervals. The non-autistic people got bored. The autistic people had measurable spikes in cortisol, their stress hormone, within minutes, even though nothing bad was actually happening. And the strangest part was that the stress didn't come from fear of something specific. It came from not being able to name what they were feeling in the first place. Here's what most people get wrong about autism and anxiety. They think autistic people are just more anxious by nature. They're not. What's actually happening is neurological. Autistic brains process uncertainty differently than neurotypical brains. And when you can't tolerate uncertainty, you can't tolerate not knowing what you're experiencing emotionally. Let's start with a concrete example. An autistic person gets a text from their boss, "Can we talk tomorrow?" A non-autistic person might feel a small jolt of worry and then move on. An autistic person often spirals, not because they're catastrophizing, though it can look that way, but because they're stuck in a loop of ambiguity. What does that text mean? Is it bad? Is it neutral? They don't know, and their brain won't let it go. The key to understanding this is something called intolerance of uncertainty, and it all hinges on a skill most people take for granted: the ability to label your own emotions accurately. In 2018, psychologist Matthew Quigley published research showing that autistic individuals score significantly higher on measures of intolerance of uncertainty compared to neurotypical controls. But here's the critical finding. The correlation between that intolerance and emotional distress was strongest in people with poor emotion labeling skills, what researchers call alexithymia. What's emotion labeling? It's the ability to identify what you're feeling and name it. I'm anxious. I'm frustrated. I'm uncertain about what comes next. Simple for most people. For many autistic individuals, it's not. They feel the emotion, the physical sensation, the racing thoughts, but can't categorize it cleanly. And when you can't name something, your brain treats it as a threat. Here's the mechanism. Uncertainty creates an information gap. Non-autistic brains are actually pretty good at living with gaps. They fill them in with assumptions and move forward. Autistic brains resist that. They want precision. They want to know. When they can't get it, the brain stays in a state of high alert, searching for the missing piece. And if you can't label what that feeling is, if you can't say this is just uncertainty, not danger, your nervous system never gets the signal to calm down. A 2021 study by researchers at King's College London tracked 143 autistic adults over 8 weeks and found that those who improved their emotion labeling skills showed a 34% reduction in anxiety-related avoidance behaviors, even though their tolerance of uncertainty itself didn't change. So what does this look like in real life? First scenario, an autistic person doesn't know if they got the promotion. They don't know if they're feeling hopeful, terrified, or just numb. That fog of not knowing what they're feeling amplifies the uncertainty about the actual event. Second scenario, a change in routine happens. A meeting gets rescheduled. For a neurotypical person, mild annoyance. For an autistic person without strong emotion labeling, it's not just, I don't know what time the meeting is. It's, I don't know what I'm feeling about not knowing, and that unknown feeling is consuming me. Third scenario, social ambiguity. Someone makes a joke. An autistic person doesn't know if they should laugh. They don't know if they're confused or amused or offended. And without being able to label that emotional confusion, it becomes paralyzing. Here's where the intervention actually works, and it traces directly back to that University of Bath study. The moment you add a label, even an imperfect one, the amygdala, your brain's alarm center, starts to quiet down. The reason autistic people spiral under uncertainty isn't that they're broken. It's that their brains demand precision, and without a name for what they're experiencing, they can't signal safety to their own nervous system. The practical fix is deliberate emotion labeling. When uncertainty hits, pause and ask, what am I feeling right now? Use a list if you need to. Anxious, restless, trapped. It doesn't have to be eloquent. The act of naming it, of creating any structure around the formless feeling, shifts your brain out of threat mode. For parents and partners of autistic people, this isn't weakness, it's wiring. Helping them build a richer emotion vocabulary isn't coddling them, it's giving them a tool their brain actually needs to regulate. So the answer to why that bathroom at Bath got flooded with cortisol, it wasn't the tone that might play, it was the fog. The not knowing what they were feeling about the not knowing. An understanding that changes everything about how we support autistic people and how they support themselves. But here's what gets darker. This same mechanism of not naming what you feel. It doesn't just affect anxiety. The real answer involves something even the researchers didn't expect to find. If you want to know what happens when emotion labeling completely breaks down, subscribe and we'll get there soon.